Have you ever heard of subcontracting or subcontractor? Of course you have. It's a thing companies do when they want someone else to do the work, but still be able to blame them when things go tits up. It's like saying I don't want to clean this toxic mess, but
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy.
You know someone like that?
now imagine applying that logic, the logic of corporate dedication, not to building a bridge, but to murder. Today's story happens in Guangxi province in China, home of possibly the most spectacularly mismanaged assassination attempt in human history. The story begins on the morning of April 28, 2014 in the southern Chinese city of Nanning. Mr. Wei Jie, the general manager of Nanning Dazan Garden real estate company, was going about his usual day when his assistant walked into his office, holding a small note with an odd expression. A man just came into the building, the assistant said. He gave me this note and told me to pass it to you. He said the phone call it refers to is very important. Mr. Wei Jie, a seasoned businessman who began his career during China's sweeping economic reforms in the 1980s, was not easily rattled. By 1993, he had recognized the development potential for Nanning City under the city's pro-investment policies and went on to establish one of the region's first garden-style residential projects, 大自然 Garden. He had been navigating the wild waters of Chinese real estate for over 2 decades. If there was one thing he had learned, it was how to sniff out drama and ignore it. So when he saw the handwritten note, his first instinct was to shrug it off. People came to him all the time asking for money, jobs, and favors. Another cryptic message?
Fuck you.
He placed the note on his desk and went back to work. Mr. Wei, the assistant, insisted. The man said it was really important that you made this call. At that point, more curious than concerned, Wei Jie decided to dial the number. He was not prepared for what came next. As soon as the line connected, the voice on the other end said, I was hired to kill you. Wei Jie, thinking it might be a bluff or extortion attempt, shot back. Part challenge, part irritation. If you want to kill me, then come and do it. But the call didn't escalate. Instead, he calmly replied, I have your photo. I know your name, your ID number, your license plate. I was given all of it. But the money I got is too low. It's not worth it. Then he made an unusual offer. Meet me tonight at 8 p.m. Let's talk. That evening, as agreed, Mr. Wei Jie arrived at a small cafe in Nanning. Just another night, except this time. The meeting wasn't about real estate deals or business partnership. It was with a man who had literally just said, I was hired to kill you. And not metaphorically, literally. A few minutes later, a man walked in, sat down across Wei Jie without a word, and quietly pulled out a Huawei phone. He opened his photo gallery and turned the screen around. What Wei Jie saw chilled him, more than the iced Americano he didn't order. There he was, in photo after photo, shopping for groceries, trying out new outfits, taking selfies. He had been followed for weeks, maybe longer. He wasn't just some random name on a list. This was a Google Drive's worth of stalking. It was clear this man sitting across from him was deadly serious, but also oddly not particularly committed. The man calmly explained, someone paid me 100,000 yuan to kill you. But honestly, that's not worth it. Risk versus reward doesn't check out. So here's my proposal. You help me fake your death. I get paid. You get to live. Everyone wins. Wei Jie didn't even hesitate. He'd been in a business long enough to know when to close a deal fast. So right there in the cafe, they staged the world's weirdest photo shoot. Wei Jie stuffed a towel in his own mouth, put his hands behind his back to fake being tied up, and posed like hostage for the discount rate assassin with budget constraints. A few awkward photos later, the hitman had what he needed. Before leaving, the man even offered some friendly advice. You should probably turn off your phone, maybe leave Nanning for a while. till things cool down. So Wei Jie, now an unwilling star of a murder-themed Instagram reel, fled to Shanghai and lay low for 10 days. But things didn't feel safe. Wei Jie had no idea who was behind the hit, and knowing that someone out there had to pay for his death made him spend every day in a kind of essential hide-and-seek. Was it business rival, an old enemy, a really dissatisfied former neighbor? Months passed, his nerves frayed, his anxiety grew. So it's August 2014. Mr. Wei Jie walked into a police station. He had enough. He spent 4 months dodging imaginary hitmen jumping at shadows. But now, he's done running. He hands the police the phone number. He describes the man who met him in a cafe. The police take it seriously, and they quickly find the man from the cafe. Let's call him Mr. F. Seems straightforward, right? Spoiler alert, it's not. See, this isn't a normal murder plot. It's not even a complicated murder plot. What they uncover is a 5-layer subcontracting hellscape. There are so many people involved. We refer to them by letters, like it's a kindergarten sitting chat. Mr. A, B, C, D, E, and eventually Mr. F. Let's start at the top, Mr. A. The police eventually trace the origin of murder for hire to Mr. A, a businessman with indirect shares in Wei Jie's real estate company. Now here's a twist. When police tell Wei Jie, the man who tried to have you killed is Mr. A, Wei Jie replies, who the hell is Mr. A? Turns out, they have never even met. So why did Mr. A want him dead? Well, let's rewind. Wei Jie's company Dazilan Garden was co-founded in 2000 between his own firm and another called Guangxi Guisheng, who held 51% of the shares. Fast forward to 2012, Mr. A buys into Guisheng and thus becomes a silent stakeholder in Wei Jie's company. In 2013, Wei Jie sues Guisheng for 40 million, blaming them for delays that cost him valuable opportunities. Mr. A, worried that this lawsuit might tank his investment, decides to, remove the problem permanently. And so begins the stupidest murder plot ever conceived. Mr. A doesn't get his hands dirty. He hires Mr. B, a cement supplier he knows from his business circles. Mr. B accepts the contract, 2 million, and full access to Wei's identity, phone number, and license plate. But Mr. B, being a modern entrepreneur, thinks, why do something yourself when you can dedicate murder? So he finds Mr. C, who runs a street barbecue stall, and claims he knows some gangsters who can do the job. Then Mr. B keeps 1 million and gives Mr. C the rest. But for Mr. C, he's just here for the grill and gossip. He claims he hired some Burmese mercenary to kill Wei Jie and bury him near the China-Myanmar border. He tells Mr. B, who tells Mr. A,
target eliminated.
Everyone relaxes until Mr. A sees Wei Jie still alive and well, sipping coffee and not very dead. So Mr. A confronts Mr. B confronts Mr. C. Mr. C throws his hands up. It's not my fault that the Burmese mercenary took the money and ghosted. With no options left, Mr. C passes the job to Mr. D, a career criminal with a CV in violent offenses. Born in 1982, Mr. D had already served 8 years for assault before being released in 2012. Mr. C gives him 500,000 for the job, but only 270,000 upfront. But Mr. D, clearly a man of vision, refused to do it himself. Instead, he contacts Mr. E, the discount assassin. Mr. E is Mr. D's older cousin, also a convicted felon. He had served 4.5 years for assault, getting out in 2010. Mr. D, as any smart middleman does, keeps 70,000 for himself and hands Mr. E the job for 200,000. But guess what? Mr. E doesn't want to do it either. So he reaches out his prison buddy, Mr. F, the man we met at the very beginning, the one who called Mr. Wei Jie and offered to fake his death. By the time the job lands in Mr. F's lap, it's only worth 100,000. a far cry from the 2 million originally offered. He looks at the job, looks at the pay, and thinks, nah, not worth catching a bullet over. So instead, he calls out the target himself, informs him of the plot, and offers a murder cosplay section in exchange for a clean getaway. And somehow this nonsense almost worked until Wei Jie went to the police station. Till now, you may think the story is already absurd. Can it be even more absurd? Yes, it can. In 2016, the case went to the court. During the first trial, the court declares not guilty. Why? Inconsistent testimonies, insufficient evidence. Despite a full murder supply chain with a documented subcontracting, everyone walks free. Wei Jie, fearing for his life again, goes into hiding and demands retrial. In 2018, the case returns. The prosecutor says they have got enough evidence this time, but the court says still not enough, another not guilty. Until finally, in October 2019, justice arrives. Final verdicts: the grade sentencing, Mr. A 5 years, Mr. B 3 years and 6 months, Mr. C and Mr. D 3 years and 3 months, Mr. E 3 years, Mr. F 2 years and 7 months. And remember, this all started because Mr. A feared losing money in a lawsuit he ended up winning in 2017. That's right, he tried to kill a man over a legal case he didn't lose. Mr. A risked prison, wasted 2 million, and ended up in headlines across the globe, all for absolutely nothing.